Hey everybody, Meteor Destinacle here, and this video is entitled, Are You Prepared for the End? And that does sound a bit dramatic. It is coming to the end of the year, with Christmas Day tomorrow, but it's not the end of the year this video is about. And please don't just think this guy's full of crap when I say this next thing and leave the video. Let me explain what I mean by it first. What I'm going to say is that what I'm asking you guys out there is, are you prepared for the end of our world as we know it? You can see why I said I don't want you to think I'm full of crap and click off the video. But allow me to explain. Our world is changing. On the whole, by the end of this war between Ukraine and Russia, it's extremely likely that Russia will no longer exist. It definitely won't exist as a major power. And the Ukrainians, assuming they're going to be allowed to keep all the stuff that they've been given by the rest of us, although it will take them time to rebuild their cities and things, and that's going to be a lot of work, and I am sure they are capable of doing that if they have the same determination about rebuilding as they do about protecting their country, meaning that their freedom. They will become a new major nation. And over here in the UK, civilization over here is dying, and it has been, honestly, it has been dying for a very long time now. We've got places which are completely without water, so they've had to set up public water dispensaries. We've got power companies saying that they want to have rolling blackouts. We've got prices in shops so high they're ridiculous. Shops unable to get food in. And do not think for 1 second that the leaders in this country give a shit about you. They don't. Especially in Scotland. They simply lie and cheat, change the rules when the rules stand against what they want. And try to claim that they're doing it for the country. That it's happening because we have democracy and democracy is good. Democracy is not good. Democracy stagnates nations. It blocks evolution. It stops a country from advancing. I mean, think about it. What can you get? Tell me one thing you can get with democracy that you can't get without it. You can get justice without it. You can have you can run hospitals, schools, pretty much anything without it. Politicians are not necessary. They simply make you think you need them, get you to rely on them. And so many people will just accept it because they buy into the whole democracy crap that, if you petition or protest, there isn't enough for you to make a difference. People who defend democracy will almost always bring up the civil war between Oliver Cromwell and Charles I. And they have almost never done their research. They will always, it tends to be the same thing. These people will research the war between the two sides into one, but then they just stop. They don't look into anything that happened after the war. And what happened after Cromwell won was basically the government was just doing the exact same stuff that Charles I had been doing. So Cromwell removed them from power as well, named himself Lord High Protector, and that was when we got peace. That was when we got democracy. It was Cromwell that gave people the type of government they wanted. It wasn't Parliament. As soon as he was dead and buried, they went right back to running everything the way that suited them. Now, a little history for you is that King Arthur was actually the person to come up with the best way of running a country. He selected advisors. He had advisors slash knights. Well, he called them the Knights of the Round Table, and they were people who he had knighted. And he only knighted them if they were the most honourable people around. His council of the Round Table helped him run the country, and they were chosen based on their honour and their behaviour. They were not elected. And anyone that didn't want a particular law to pass, or wasn't happy with the rules, could organise a meeting with the king and the council anytime they wanted. And the king gave them a time for it. They would meet with him and have the chance to try and change his mind. Fast forward to nowadays, and we live in a society where yes, you get to elect you get to try to elect who you want, but it's all based on chance. It doesn't guarantee you the government that you want or the government you need. The system we have now is based not on cooperation, but on competition. Not on practicality, but on popularity. And these people cannot be trusted. I mean, one example is they did lockdowns last year. Now, under the British Constitution, it is illegal for the British government to impose martial law. According to the British Constitution, under no circumstances may the British government impose martial law on the citizens of the United Kingdom. However, if they don't call it martial law, if they call it lockdown and quote unquote, and just do all the same things as they would do in martial law, suddenly that's okay. Not here, we have that idiot Nicola Sturgeon running things. And she's always shouting her mouth off about how much she believes in democracy, how she wants what's best for the country. Well, have you seen the news? One thing, I'll start with the most outrageous thing, is she wants to allow 16-year-olds to have the right to change their gender. Not only that, she wants to make it so that transvestites can use the same bathroom as people aren't. I'm not being homophobic. My point is, you shouldn't be expecting women to share a bathroom with men. I'm not going to sit and explain that one to you. But if you want to know why I think that's retarded, ask your mum, girlfriend, sister, anyone that's female. And then there's this nonsense about trying to split Scotland from the rest of the United Kingdom. She claims that it's for democracy, that the people should have the right to decide whether we stay in the UK or not. Well, newsflash. She's actually going against democracy by doing that, or at least the idea of democracy. Because there was a referendum already, and the people of Scotland voted to stay in the United Kingdom. There was a vote on whether or not to try and have another referendum to split the country last year. Everyone voted no, and she's still trying to have one. When England told her she can't have one, she tried to take them to the Supreme Court. If Scotland had the amount of money on its health, spent on its health service and its schools and all the rest of the stuff, its essential services, spent instead of it being spent on court hearings and fighting the mainstream government and everything else that Nicola Sturgeon wants, would be a much better place. But Sturgeon does not want to have to answer to anyone. And right now, she has to answer to Westminster and to the King. And something else, and this is a problem for England and Scotland I don't agree with, is emergency services having the right to strike, to refuse to work. Train drivers, you're going to go on strike, you're going to be late getting to your job or your holiday or whatever. Cabbies, pretty much same thing, going to be late getting to your hotel. Ambulances go on strike, people are going to die. Surgeons go on strike, people are going to die. When I've said this in conversations in the past, I've been given the same argument. They need to have rights. They should have rights like everybody else. No, F that. bus drivers, train drivers, any other normal job, it's going to have a bad impact. It's going to piss people off when they go on strike, but it's not going to do any long-term damage. Emergency services go on strike, it endangers lives. But I would go as far as to say that if someone dies because because there are no ambulances, then that should literally be a crime. And if someone dies because there's no emergency service, because they're on strike, you know, speak to the family of that person. Tell them they need to have, you can't not give them the same rights as everybody else. See how much they care about that when they've just lost a loved one. I guarantee you, they won't. And the second time we had a lockdown in Scotland, Sturgeon, rather than be like England and set up a system that does everything in it, which is doing everything in her power to avoid another lockdown, she set up a system where it was as likely as possible to have a lockdown because she wanted to have one. She ended up driving most of the shops and things out of business here to the extent where a large number of people got effed off with her and moved down to England as soon as they could. So the world is changing. Now, you have all got the right to make your decisions. You want to support these people. Fair enough. But I'm going to propose an alternative. The stuff I've told you about already here is a big part of why I set up the Micronation of New Camelot, which this channel is part of. It's a big part of why a lot of other people have been setting up micronations. And this is what I'm proposing. I want you guys out there to sit down, have a think, decide for yourself whether or not you are happy with the way things are. And if you are not, join my micronation. Don't vote for anybody next election. Join my micronation And we will work together to create a new community. We will create a new community. And that might sound as hard, and it is going to be a tough journey. But the first step is to get enough money raised to acquire some land. Then after that, we need to raise some more money so we can build a new community in there, a new real world community. And once that has evolved on a bit, then eventually we are going to apply to join Sumeria. Well, the Empire of Sumeria is the full name. The Empire of Sumeria is a micronation, and it's not a normal micronation. It's a union of micronations who are working together as a real world alternate society. It's not a cult. They have created their own trade network where they use solid silver coins instead of pounds. And because the way silver and gold work is different to the way regular money works, it is not victim to inflation. In fact, as the pound goes down, as inflation and pounding, as the value of the pound decreases, value of the gold increases. They have people there in the different micronations who grow food, who make different things, and they sell them. So if we become a trade partner, or even a mainstream member of their community, you are looking at knocking down your cost of living by 50%. Add to that effect that one of the things that we're going to be using the land for is growing food. And we're also going to be having a market to sell and buy and trade produce. That's another 25% off your cost of living. So what I'm doing so far to raise the money is money from my Patreon, instead of being used for tech for videos and for the channel. What's left of it will be used for that, but the main portion of it is going to be put towards creating this new civilization. This is completely legal. As I said, it's going to be the city of New Camelot. We're going to revive the idea of the Knights of the Round Table. So it'll be me and a court of advisors. I'm also going to set up a crowdfunder. And I'm going to be selling merch on my channel as well. So please, guys, have a think about what I've said. If you are not happy with the way things are going out there, join join New Camelot. Or even create your own micronation. If you do decide to create your micronation, then we would be willing to consider making a mutually beneficial alliance with you. In other words, if you create your micronation and you have something to offer us, then we would be willing to offer you something. But if we have stuff to offer you, but you have nothing to offer us, in order to be part of our micronation, you need to be contributing. That means joining Patreon, making a cash contribution to the fundraiser when I put it up, or by providing services that we could use. Services or goods that we could use. One thing that we are looking for, we do need, is, and I don't expect for 1 minute anyone out there will actually be able to do this, but we need someone who can create custom gold or gold-plated coins, because we're going to be introducing as our currency until such time as we are able to join Stamaria. We're going to be introducing the new Camelot Sovereign, which will be a gold coin with the with a lion on one side and the words We are all the architects of our own destiny, stamped on the other side. The Patreon packages do have a lot to offer. If you're more into video games than you are into micronations, but you would still like to make a contribution to New Camelot just to help us out, then you could sign up for our game creator group. Or if you want to have special stuff through this channel, then there's the Destiny Oracle package. And of course, there's also, if you are looking to join New Camelot, there's the New Camelot Citizen package and the New Camelot Knight package. Please do understand that subscribing to this channel does not make you a citizen of New Camelot. You are only a citizen of New Camelot if you are willing to contribute to us. The citizen package is £1 a month. That's $2 a month if you're in the US. It's not a lot. And once we're more up and running, once we're not just online, we will have a lot to offer people. And it will be well worth you making a contribution. £1 a month or $2 a month. It is not a lot to ask of you guys out there, and creating a new civilization, making a new way of life, making a new future. It's a very exciting thing. So you can be part of this for just £1 a month, or a little bit more for some of your packages. But also, as I said, we all have free will, we all have free choice, and so should we. So if you are happy to settle for the way the government where you are is treating you, then by all means, just bury your heads in the sand and follow along like a good little sheep. But do be aware that the path that these so-called leaders have us on is a path to destruction. There's a path to destruction. There is no other possible outcome for anyone who supports the way things are in the country currently. You're not going to be treated fairly by these people. If they want to make you do something and they wallop their head into a rule that says they can't, they simply abolish the rule. If you look up King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, or you look up Camelot, then you will see that Camelot was based around total equality for everyone, hence the Round Table. And those are the beliefs that New Camelot is based on. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, possibly even inspiring, then please whack that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and for the reasons mentioned earlier, please sign my Patreon. Catch you next time.